What is going on, everyone? Jay Sniperton here, and this week we're going to be talking about a gun that I believe will be replacing the Recluse in Beyond Light. Let's take a look. In a few days, Bungie's going to be releasing Beyond Light for us to consume. We've been waiting for this for a long time, and one of the things that we've been worried about for quite a while is all the weapons and gear that are going to be sunset. And there's some fear there that with sunsetting, we're not going to have very good replacements to take their place. And one of the guns that we've been using a lot recently is the Recluse and probably the Mountaintop as well. Now, for those who don't know what sunsetting means, basically, our weapons aren't going completely away. However, the new content and the content that requires a higher level than 1060, there's a lot of weapons from our past, from the first 3 years, that are going to be essentially unusable, meaning that they're not going to be able to be infused above 1060, and they're probably not going to be doing a whole lot of damage in things like the new raids or the new Grandmaster Nightfalls or whatever new dungeon we end up getting this year. Now, a few weeks ago, Bungie came out with an update on weapons and buffs and nerfs that are going to be coming down the pipeline when Beyond Light is released. And one of the things that really caught my eye was when they were talking about the gun that I believe is going to replace the Recluse. What gun is that? The Mida Mini-Tool. Now, we've had this available for a few years now. There's no mod slots. There's no multiple perks on it that we can really choose from. However, it's always been a fairly solid gun that I feel like has been kind of underappreciated. Now, I know that it's solar and the Recluse is void. And if you want to go for a void replacement, you're probably going to go with Gnawing Hunger or the Death Adder. But one of the buffs that they talked about for the Mida Mini was to add kill clip. Now, this may not seem like a big deal. However, it makes the gun so close to the Recluse that this might become a permanent gun in your loadout. Just in case you haven't gotten the Mida Mini-Tool at this point, the way that you get it right now before Beyond Light is to go to EDZ and talk to Devrim K and to get the quest called Enhance. And once you have that quest, it's only going to take a couple of steps before you have the Mini-Tool in your hands. But I would also recommend to go ahead and finish it and get the Mida tool, because there is some intrinsic buffs that you get having both equipped at the same time that may be worth your while. Now, as far as how close the Mini tool is actually to the Recluse, let's take a look. It's got the same RPM, higher mag size, and better base handling, stability, and recoil stat numbers than the Recluse. With reload, it's basically dealer's choice here. You have Feeding Frenzy on the Recluse versus Alloy Mag on the Mini tool. And in some scenarios, Alloy Mag might actually be superior because it procs on the end of the clip as opposed to requiring you to kill enemies in order to make it happen. Here's a direct comparison between the Recluse and the Mini tool to see just how close or even better the Mini tool is in reload in most situations. Additionally, the base reload stat of the Mini tool is faster, so in case you're in a situation where you haven't gotten a kill yet, possibly in Crucible, the Mini tool is going to come out ahead and be able to fire before the Recluse is ready. Now, a couple of things that the Mini tool is not quite as good as the Recluse at is it's got slightly lower range. However, the Mini tool can be rolled with +5 range, as you see here. That would make it slightly better than the base level of the Recluse. Now, how they'll handle the Mini tool in Beyond Light is yet to be seen as to whether or not we're going to have mod slots, but I imagine they're going to handle it like any other exotic or pinnacle weapon, similar to the Recluse, and have static perks. The Mini tool's aim assist is also roughly 10% less than the Recluse, which for control players like myself may be significant, but I think for mouse and keyboard it's not going to make much of a difference. Probably one of the biggest differences that you're going to see is the recoil, but it's really not that big of a difference compared to the Recluse. As you can see here, I'm showing the difference in recoil with controller and keyboard and mouse. And while controller has quite a bit more recoil than keyboard and mouse, it's very similar to how the Recluse performs as well. And with the inclusion of Kill Clip in the Mini-Tool, the damage output and the add clear ability is going to be even closer to the Recluse. Kill Clip and Master of Arms actually have the same damage buff as well as the same 5-second timer. Obviously, in some scenarios, Kill Clip's not going to be quite as useful because Master of Arms would continue to reproc every time it got a kill, and Kill Clip requires you to reload before you get the damage buff. However, in certain situations, Kill Clip might actually be the more desirable option if you're thinking about Crucible when you're trying to time your damage buff and your encounters. With Master of Arms, you aren't really able to control exactly when you're going to have the buff the same way you can with Kill Clip. So all in all, it's really a situation-based improvement that we will probably get used to with the Mini-Tool, just like we did with the Recluse originally. One of the biggest reasons to run Mini-Tool is if you like running a gun like the Mida, because there's an added bonus when you have both the Mini-Tool and the Mida Multi-Tool equipped, that it gives you quite the mobility increase. So if you like playing high-speed agile play, this could be a very dangerous combo for you. And obviously it's not going to be able to counter a shotgun very well, but your mid to long range game is going to be very balanced and be able to overcome a lot of adversity. In conclusion, the Mida Mini-Tool is going to be a great option for a lot of folks that are looking for a replacement for the Recluse. And while it's not exactly the same, and it may feel different in different scenarios, I think it's just going to take a little bit of time for us to get used to it before it becomes a mainstay in our loadout. I'm excited to see what you guys have to think about the Mini-Tool after the update, and leave a comment below letting me know what you think. If you'd like to come hang out with us, we're live 5 nights a week on Twitch at twitch.tv/jsniperton, and you can also find me on social media as well as YouTube in the future. Thanks again for watching. Hope you guys have a great day and enjoy Beyond Light when it comes out, and we'll see you next time. Until then, J Snipes out.